Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we are covering Mobile App Advanced. This webinar will cover the work queue, creating new appointments from scratch in the field. We'll go over checklists, proposals, and invoices, how to attach financing to proposals, maintenance plans, proposal comparisons, purchase orders to order parts in the field, and sending review requests to your customers. We'll do a live Q&A at the end where you'll be able to get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the WEX FSM mobile app. We're starting with how to use the work queue. When you first log in to the mobile app, it will bring you to the jobs page. And if you've been using the WEX FSM mobile app, you know that your appointments show up on the board here. You can click into the appointments that are assigned to you and work those appointments. In that scenario, maybe the office is creating the appointments for you and they just show up on the board here. You click on them and go. But if you want to assign something to yourself, another way that you can use appointments is by putting items in the work queue. Work queue items are draft appointments that are not fully scheduled yet. You don't know the date, you don't know the time, you're not sure the technician. They are truly sitting and waiting for you to assign them and add more details to them. And one use case for this is, let's say you are out in the field, you get done with your work early for the day, and you can check the work queue, see if you are nearby, and then you can either assign those to yourself or assign those to other members on your team. The work queue in the mobile app is on the jobs page underneath your appointments. So it says my appointments. These are the appointments that are assigned to me. I can see they're on my board. But if I click into the work queue, we have service requests and unassigned appointments. Service requests, we're not really sure the date, the time, or the technician. There's a lot of information missing. It will show you the name of the customer. It will show you the name of the job and the job number and the address. Unassigned appointments are, we know the date, we know the time. The last missing piece is which technician is going to run this job. So if you see that there's an item here in the work queue that you would like to run yourself or assign to someone else, granted that you have permissions turned on to allow you to do this, you will tap into the request and then come down here and pick a date and time. So let's say we want to run this today at 1 p.m. It's an hour long. I can see this is a no AC call. It's a service call. Duration is 1 hour. And right now it says it has a primary technician. If I want to change that, I can update the technician by selecting, find the technician that I want to assign this to, tap OK. If I want to add more than one person, I can tap on the plus sign here, and that will add an additional tech field. Tap on that. and then I can assign additional technicians. You can add as many additional techs as you want. And anyone that you add here, whether it's a primary tech or an additional tech, when you hit save, it will then put that appointment on their schedule. So if you want to get rid of an additional tech, you just hit the trash can icon and that is good to go. You can add notes if you do have some extra context. Just tap into the notes, click new, and you can add your own notes to this call that was pre-made in the work queue. And then this is good to go. So now we know the date, we know the duration, we know the time, and we have our technician. When we tap save, it will fail to create an appointment. Excellent. All right, hold on. Let's tap save. So this is a test environment. I'm not sure why that is happening. We have our job, we have our job type, our frequency, our date, our time, our tech, and that should be good to go. So I am not sure why this is not happening. Sometimes in this test environment, it does get a little funky, but for you, when you are in here, you select the service request, you select the date and time and the technician. And when you hit save, it should just save. Okay, so that went through and we saved it here. So it will work just like that. And now we took an item from the work queue, assigned it, and now that is on the board. And again, a use case for this would be you have your assigned appointments, but then you can schedule from the work queue. Maybe you have finished your work for the day and you just want to add that from the work queue and put it on your schedule, or you can assign it to someone else. Okay. If you would like to create an appointment from scratch, just making one new, not pulling from the work queue, not from your appointments that have been assigned to you, you can just make one brand new. Click New Appointment, Add Appointment, select your customer, and now fill out the information. So we know that this will be a new job. I highly recommend entering a job name. That's going to be, what is this job about? You know, if you're working in the HVAC industry, maybe this is a no AC call. It's really just a nickname for the job so you can recall what was done here, what type of job was this when you go to recall it later. Job type, what type of job is this? Let's say no AC is a service call. We will select the time by just tapping on the date and time. Let's say this is a job we know we're going to do later in the day. We know this no AC call will take about an hour. I have it assigned to myself. Now, if I wanted to create a work queue item, you would select assign technician later, and when you save this, it will save as a unassigned appointment. So we looked at the work queue earlier. You can add items to the work queue from here by selecting assign technician later. But we know that I will run this, so I'll go ahead and put myself. And then you can add tags, you can add notes. Any notes that you add here when adding the appointment will sync to the job and be visible from the office as well. So as you add notes, they will see those in the office as well. Once you have all the information, you will tap save. And there we go. So now I've just created a new appointment from scratch out in the field. Now let's dive into appointment and look at the different tools, different options that you can use. Let's go to Justin Hernandez. And then from here, if you scroll down, you have many different options. Now, you may not use all of these for one job, but they are here and ready to help when you need it. The first tool that we will look at is checklists. So it's the third option down from the top. Tap on checklists. Any checklists that have been auto assigned to this job will show up here. If there is any office crew here today, if you are scheduling for your team out in the field, you can set your checklists to attach by job type. So if I'm doing a maintenance call, I could make a maintenance checklist and it would just auto add. If I'm doing a no AC call, I could make a no AC checklist and that would auto apply. Then for me in the field as a technician, I would just automatically see those here. But if there are none, you can just add checklists on your own by tapping new in the top right. Your checklists will show up here. Think of these as templates that you're going to add and update for your customer. Let's say we're just doing a general service call. I will tap and hit create. From here, you can select the options that you need if it's multiple choice. If you need to type in something, you do that here. If there's an item on the checklist that does not apply, you can just skip it. And then there is a new functionality. We have just added this. You can select all, and it will just mark all as complete. Enter any notes that you need, and then completed by, that just says who completed this checklist. And now click save. Once you finish with that, it will show complete. If I slide my finger to the right, this is a functionality that you will find throughout the app. Slide my finger to the right. I can send the checklist to the customer, and I can also view a PDF of it. If I slide my finger to the left, I can delete. And there you go. So that's checklists. Let's take a step back here. Now let's dive deeper into proposals and invoices. Each appointment that you're running here, each of these are attached to jobs. And in your jobs, you are able to create proposals, invoices. When you make a proposal, you can convert the proposal to an invoice. And let's use our install here with Emily Davis. And let's go down to proposals. So in our tools section, we have proposals. Tap on that. And with proposals, AKA estimates, you can build those from scratch, or you can copy from a pre-existing proposal, tap new, and you have your two options. So new proposal will create a proposal from scratch, copy from existing. Let's say you made a proposal for the same system last week. You can go and search for that proposal, copy it over. Everything will transfer to the new proposal for the new customer and save you some time having to build out another proposal from scratch. But that's what we'll do today. Let's create a new proposal. At the top here, we have the customer name. If you tap on that customer name, this is where you can access the proposal details. You can add a name to the proposal. Let's say this is, a big install. You can mark this as a favorite. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you name the proposal and you mark it as a favorite, next time you want to do this same job, you could just copy this proposal. And when you click copy from existing, it's really nice when those proposals are named and favorited. So they show up at the top of the list and you can just read and see, oh, this is the big install that I did last week. This is the one I want to use. If you don't have them named and you don't have them favorited, you can still copy them. It's just a little harder to find because you'd have to search through and determine what it is from something else. You'd have to maybe look at the price or click into each proposal and look at it. This will save a lot of time from searching. If you know this is when you're building this, if you know like, oh, I'm going to want to copy this in the future, tap into those proposal details, name it, and add it to favorites. From here, you can also just update any part of what you see here. Contract terms, you can add a custom field, addresses, bill tos, pricing strategy. I do get that question a lot. How do I add a discount? I got this person's in the military. I want to give them a military discount. Pricing strategy is here. You tap that, and then any additional pricing strategies that you've set up in your system, you will be able to select from here. And these are customizable. You have 3 modifiers that you can set up. That does need to be set up from the desktop side, but once those are set up, you will find those pricing strategies here. Also, just a pro tip, every job that you create is going to start as the standard price. If they're a maintenance plan customer, it will automatically move it to the maintenance plan price. That way, you don't have to think about it. It will just automatically add a discount if you have that set up in your system for maintenance plan customers. All right. And then last thing at the bottom, we have show maintenance plan pricing, which will visually show your customer that their savings for being a maintenance plan customer, and line item amounts and quantities. Maybe you want that on, maybe you want that off. But if I turn this off, it'll show the line item. So if I am charging for, let's say, 5 different things, it will show individually the pricing. Maybe I don't want them to see the prices of all the individual items. I just want them to see a total, but I do want them to see the work that we did. So we want the names of the items. You can turn this off. If that's toggled off, you'll see the item names and descriptions. You will not see individual pricing, and there will just be a total at the bottom. Turn this on, and they will see pricing and quantity individually per item. All right, so that is updating the proposal details. Featured image, if you want to have an image that shows along with the proposal, you can add an image here. Let's say This is a system that you are going to propose. We're going to look at proposal comparisons in a bit too, but when using proposal comparisons, it will use the featured image for each proposal. The way proposal comparisons work is you build out each individual proposal as each offering, and then the comparison will pull them all together. If you upload a featured image here, when you're swiping through the different options, good, better, best, you'll have a nice picture to show, and that picture comes from the featured image. Next is adding items. I'm checking my notes here real quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, perfect. So when adding items to a proposal, you just tap Add Items. It's going to show you your folders. You have different price book options. If you have Profit Rhino, the flat rate price book, you'll see that in the flat rate. If you're syncing to QuickBooks, you'll see QuickBooks here. But diving a little deeper into this, you can create custom line items. You can also add items from these folders and make them recommended items. So very quickly, let's just kind of show an example of all the different ways you can add items here. If there's something I know I'm looking for, I will search for it. So let's look for a general part, let's say. Once I find the item I want, I tap the plus sign, and then that adds it to my queue. That was searching, if I know exactly what I'm looking for. If I want to search through my folders, I will just tap into that folder, find what I'm looking for, and then hit the plus button from the folder. And now that adds it to my queue in the bottom here. If I want to add a recommended item, let's say I want to add a filter. I'll just type in filter here. And then instead of just clicking the plus button, if I know that already this is something I'm going to recommend, I don't want to charge the customer just yet for it before I talk to them, I'll add it as a recommended item. So I just tap on the item itself anywhere in this open space. And then if you look in the bottom left, we have recommend. We're going to recommend on this proposal and hit add. And then now it's added to the queue, but when it goes to the proposal, it will be separated in its own section. So let's add that. We do have this 80,000 BTU furnace, has serialization turned on. And so it's asking us what's the serial number of this item. Type that in. You can skip it if you want to, but turning on serialization for anything you know you're going to have serial numbers for makes it very easy in the moment, like we see here, to add the serial number of the unit we are selling. Let's tap save. And there we go. We can see our items that we've added are in the product section. The recommended item is now down below. And let's say that you run into a scenario where the item I need is not in my price book. I'm going to have to add a custom line item. That's very easy to do. Tap items, custom line item. And now I'm just making my own item. So I will type in what this is, put the quantity, the price. Are you charging tax or not? You can put a description here if you want, and then tap add item. and that now has been added to the queue, and tap add. Now, custom items, they are not going to add to the price book. So the custom line item is really only if it's an item you know for a fact is not in your system and it's a one-time thing, and I'm just going to add this, here. If you have items that you're notice are missing from your price book, you may want to just let the office know, and then they can add those so you'll have those available for next time. If you need to update taxes, you can just tap where the tax is, click the drop down and change the tax group. Maybe I'm working with a school and I want to offer 0% tax. I would just update the taxes right from here and then tap save. If I want to offer financing or offer maintenance plans, those options are here. Now, financing, you can only add to a proposal, and then, when you convert to an invoice, you can use that loan to take payment. But let's look at offering financing. So tap here. Select the plan you want to use, and then the amount to finance, and hit save. That will first add the financing option as a recommended item. And then if your customer's ready to go, you would select apply now. And then that will take you through that application process. Typically, that is your customer filling out their information. They will click apply. You'll get an instant approval. You'll know whether or not they're approved right on the spot. If they're not approved, then the lender will send a message to the customer letting them know why. If they are approved, then that's great. Financing is a really great option for larger ticket items. Maybe your customer doesn't quite have the money yet to afford the job, but with financing, it makes it more manageable for them. And now you get the sale as well. So a great conversion tool for getting more jobs is offering financing. Uh, we're not going to dive deeper into financing today, but if you are interested in financing, you can always go to the Help Center and search for our financing articles. If you want to offer a maintenance plan, tap Offer Maintenance Plan. Select the plan you want to use. Now, with maintenance plans, you do have to have the maintenance plan templates set up. So I have a ton of them already set up here. If you go here and you see there's nothing here, that means that no plan templates have been created, and you would want to talk to your admin or office person to see if you can get some of those templates added. But we do have our Comfort Club Plan template, so we're going to select that and tap OK. And this will do the same thing. It's going to add the maintenance plan as a recommendation first. Talking to the customer, all right, we have a maintenance plan program. If you sign up, it's going to be $100 a year. You will save 10% on parts on any future job we do. And, it's a really great idea. They say yes, you will tap sign up. And now we're just attaching this to the customer and getting our details squared away. So as long as you have the template set up in a good place, you won't really need to make any adjustments here, but you can if you need to. You can update the price, the start date. If you're tracking who is selling maintenance plans, maybe there's some commission going out for who sells the most maintenance plans in a month. Whatever you're doing, you can select sales agent, select who sold the plan, and then that is trackable from your reports in the office side. Do you want to charge tax on this? You can grab a signature from the customer and then tap next. This is the service windows. When are you going to go out and actually do the service? So this is saying between January and June, we're going to go out and do an AC cleaning. And between July and December, we're going to go and do the heat cleaning. The first visit we're going to do is January and June. So I would recommend just at least spot checking this because you want to select the first window as the one that makes the most sense for what date it is today. And there we go. So we'll tap next. And again, this is saying January to June, we're going to go out and do the AC cleaning. July to December, we're going to go out and do the heat cleaning. This is the just confirming the primary contact that you're going to reach out to when it's time to schedule the appointment and then taking payment. So I'm showing you this on a proposal. We will add on the proposal, and then when we convert to an invoice, we'll be able to take payment on that from the invoice. This is the amount that they are going to pay, and we want it on proposal and click done. All right. And so now let's scroll down and we've got all of our items on here. Let's hit present proposal. That will put this in presentation mode so we can see here's the total at the top. We have our items. We have our recommendations. So this says this is a filter. Let's just, hey, I noticed that you could use a replacement. It's $18. I can do that today. Would you like me to do that? If they say yes, you just tap the plus button. That will add it up into the product section. And then from here, if you tap on the item, it will show you the item description. So just know that, like right now, if I am looking at this, if I just tap on the item, that pulls up the full item description. Especially if it's a longer description, you need to just spot check what it says. You just tap on the item. You have a couple options for next steps. If I want to convert this to an invoice, let's say the customer is ready to pay now, I would select convert to invoice. If I want to view this as a PDF, some of my customers do prefer to look at it this way. The PDF version will show your logo if you have that uploaded on your business details page. And this is up to you. So you could view as PDF and show your customer this page, or just use the clean mobile app version here. Or you can send the proposal to the customer. They can review it on their own. If they take an action on it, whether they approve or decline the proposal, you will receive a message letting you know. If they sign it, it will show signed in the system, and then you can convert to an invoice after that. But for today's example, we will go ahead and convert this to an invoice by tapping Convert to Invoice. And now all it did was take everything from the proposal, move it to an invoice. We still have the proposal, so we have that as a document we can reference. But now we have a new invoice using all of the copied over information. If you don't need to make any changes, then this is good to go. You can edit and update these. You can click and drag and update the order that these are in. If I want to push something back down as a recommended item, I can slide my finger to the right and hit recommend. So that's one way you can move items very quickly back and forth between the products section and the recommended items section. And then this is good to go. We're ready to present this invoice to our customer and take payment. So we will tap present invoice. Same option here. You can either show it to your customer like this, or you can view the PDF version, which will have your logo at the top. And then we have a couple options for payment. Process payment is going to process through WEX FSM. Record payment will be outside of WEX FSM. If you're, let's say, taking cash, you would use record payment. And then you can send the invoice to your customer as well, and they can pay online. So let's tap record payment. It will automatically have the amount of the invoice selected. And then if you need to make changes, so right now it's saying, here's the amount of the invoice. Let's say I want to make a partial payment. I can just tap into here, update by just typing in the text, and then click next. So you can just select the invoice. It'll automatically have the full amount. If you need to take a partial payment, click into the amount, change it, and now when we go to take payment, it will make a payment for that amount. And then we are able to, you can make multiple payments. It will say partially paid until the full balance has been paid for. Once you've created an invoice, this is the same for proposals. I can slide my finger to the right to send, view, process payment, or record, and then slide my finger to the left to delete if I need to do that. All right, let's jump back here. And we have we have three more topics to go over before we get into our Q&A. We'll go over proposal comparisons, purchase orders, and sending out a review request. So, proposal comparisons. And actually, all three of these are very straightforward as long as you have your items set up already in your system. So, proposal comparisons, I'm just tapping on proposal comparison. If I want to make a comparison, let's say I want to make a good, better, best proposal comparison for my customer. I want to provide them some different options. You will tap New and select proposals to compare. This is going to bring up all proposals in your system. And really, the proposal comparison feature is just going to take individual proposals you already have created and put them together in an easy to view format. Uh, Usually, you would want to build out the individual options first. So if I'm starting from complete scratch, I would say, I'm going to offer these furnaces, and these are the main five furnaces that I offer. I would make a proposal way ahead of time for each of those offerings. So just take some time, build out your proposals from scratch. Here's a good furnace proposal. Here's a better. Here's a best. Enter the pricing, add the warranties, get as detailed as possible in the individual proposal creation. Then, when it's time to compare, it's very fast. You come in here, you look for, the proposals that you want to compare. And let's say I want this good furnace proposal, better, best. They're favorited, they're named, and I just easily add them and hit create. The amount of time that you'll save yourself by pre-building the individual offerings as proposals makes the comparison tool really fast. From here, I can then choose a different color for these squares if I want. And I can also update the names of what these say. But option 1, 2, and 3 is usually good as well. And when I hit present, it will show the different options. Remember the featured image we talked about earlier? You'll see those here. And then you just tap through the different options. And now I have built out a full good, better, best comparison with details and pricing and pictures in a matter of seconds because I did the work prior by creating the individual proposals. When you're done, you can send the proposal individually to the customer as a full comparison, and you can also just save to send later. Uh, Next, if I want to order parts, I can create purchase orders. So let's go back. Under the purchase orders section, tap purchase orders. This is another feature that needs to be set up. So you would need to add your suppliers, your manufacturers, and your supplier catalogs first from the office, from the desktop version, to make sure that that is now prepped for us to use it in the field here. But once you have those set up, it is very easy. You just, I need to order a part. I'm going to hit new. This is a part I need for today's job, so I'll hit new job PO. Which supplier am I ordering from? Let's say we'll order from Anderson Supply. Hit OK. I can see we're ordering from Anderson where it's with our job account that we have with them, and the location is the Main Street location. I can also do delivery. So am I going to go pick it up or will I have it delivered? Hit create, and that will create the PO. And now I just need to add the item that I need to order from Anderson Supply. So tap on items. We'll go to our section here. And actually, I don't think I have items. We may need to switch this to a different supplier. We'll use Daikin. And then you'll see your catalog items here. Once you've selected it, hit add. You'll know better than anybody what items you need to order. Once you have those added, you can add a note for the supplier if you need to. You can sign it and then hit submit purchase order. That will send it to the contact that you have on file and just send a real document to the supplier. Again, this is a test account, so we're not actually doing a real order from a supplier today. But as long as your information is correct in here, it will email that to the supplier and they will be able to fulfill the order from there. The very last thing we'll look at before getting to questions is sending out review requests. Tap review requests, tap new. Who is the person we want to send the review request to? And then hit send. That one's super easy. That just sends it out to the customer. You do have to set up your review request links from the office side. As long as you've done that, it will send out. It will also let you know the date, the time, and the user who sent it. And the customer will receive a message that will essentially say, "Thank you for your business. Can you please provide a review on these platforms," and link them out to where they can go and give you a review. All right. So I know we covered a lot. That is all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope you guys learned something. And we're going to move to our Q&A now. Before we do, I just want to say thank you so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Mobile App Advanced.